Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I bid to all of you who watch this video. My name is Khairul Asyraf bin Zukhairy with my partner Muhammad Zaidi bin Daud. We are from Department of Sharia and Law, Academy of Islamic Study, University of Malaya, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I'm here to present my research titled The Uncertainty Conditions of How Islamic State Planning Works for the Economic Sustainability Among Muslims in Malaysia. And this video are purposely recorded for the ICON IMEC 2022 International Conference of Islam in the Malay World with the Malay civilization facing the global challenge of COVID-19. For the detail of the research, as we can see in your screen, there's a variety of newspapers and tabloids and news magazines reported the importance and the issues of the Islamic asset planning, especially when it comes to the uncertain conditions like COVID-19. Most of them focusing on the economy, and also it is because focusing on economy also affecting the Islamic estates planning in Malaysia. Okay, there are issues and polemic in Malaysia, and there are three factors that I categorize in order to that lead to the issues and polemic of the asset planning still an existing issue still now. Apart from individual, the community awareness are still weak, and it led to the dispute of the heirs, and information of the knowledge is lacking, and it led to the frozen property, which according to the report, there are 70 billions are still considered as a frozen property as of 2022. Apart from individual, for the legislation, there is no specific legislations, and the regulations between are still inconsistent, and also the application of civil law are prevail when the issues of the Sharia court only have jurisdictions to provide the Farid certificates, and however, when the distributions relating to the immovable property, the person might have an applications to the civil law to have a distributions. For the company and product, their diversity of product and also the marketing of product are still low, and the issues of the product are still having an issue with the Sharia compliance and non-centralized control in management. How to solve? I will be giving a flow, which is when there is possible scenario like COVID-19, I consider as uncertain conditions. They should demand the need and the plan to manage their property. And if the people having no knowledge on the on how to planning their property, the instruments of assets planning might have been applied for them. If there is no knowledge on the asset planning instruments like wakaf, wills, gift, and also trust, the people may get the aid and facility from the existing of property planning and management company, which they will give an aid for make a proper and systemic Islamic estates planning for the owner of the property. As of introductions, the issue of property planning among Muslims are still long-lasting polemic, and Islam is comprehensive religion which cover all matters, including the estates planning. However, the Muslim community are still having kind of mentality where the divisions of inheritance can only be done through inheritance alone. However, there are certain instruments that are available in order to the Muslim to be applied in their estates planning. On the research before, I already found that most of the Muslims in Malaysia are still having a lacking of knowledge on the Islamic assets planning, and the situation become more worsens if there is a current situation like COVID-19 pandemic also listed under the kind of uncertain conditions, and the way how COVID-19 pandemic affected not only Malaysia throughout the world taught the people that should have the systemic and proper planning of estate distributions. Little bit of the concept of an overview on estate planning in Islam, and in a few Quranic verse it shows that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala already explained in the surah such as Surah Yusuf verse 47 and 48 that Allah encouraged for the people for having good planning in estate and property distribution in any situations, including disaster, earthquake, and uncertain situation that right now we are considered as a COVID-19 is one of the uncertain conditions that the people should have a proper systemic estate planning. Quran already introduced a certain verse, which is Surah An-Nisa verse 11, 12, 126, 176, which mention about the al-mawarith or other inheritance system. However, inheritance system is not the only form of property distribution solution for the Muslim that exists. There are also alternative way come along with the inheritance system to be applied in dividing property either during life or after death. Short brief of the death due to COVID-19 in global and Malaysia. As of 17 October 2022, there are 122 million almost for the confirmed cases affecting due to COVID-19, and in global there are 6 million already recorded death due to COVID-19. For Malaysia situations, as of 17 October, there are 4 million cases, confirmed affected with the COVID-19, and the 36,423 deaths are already reported as of 17 October 2022. Also, to be precise, this come from website covidnow.com, where it shows the graph of the number of the deaths recorded in Malaysia, which is last 6 months. Melaka, one of the states, considered as the highest number of deaths reported for the 6 months due to COVID-19. On the legal framework of an estate planning for Muslim in Malaysia, they are already stipulated underneath schedule of the Federal Constitution throughout List 2, which is considered as state list, where the state's legislative already got and jurisdiction for the matters listed down under List 2. For administration of the estate or the inheritance of the testamentary and intestate property, List 1 for E of the new schedule already listed the matters, and other two acts that related to the estate planning, regardless whether you are Muslims and non-Muslims, called Small Estate Division Act 1955, also Probate and Administration Act 1959. For uncertainty, the needs and importance of estate planning, as we can see on my research, the certain uncertain conditions like COVID-19 is the situation that taught us the needs and the importance of having the systemic proper asset planning in Islam. There are some reasons why it is so, because having asset planning is to minimize dispute among us, and also it may give a property guarantee for the loved one, and the applications of other instruments are still inconsistent with the current legislation and hukum syara. So there is no issue at all that the instruments are not permissible according to hukum syara or legislation, because the assets planning, especially for the application of the other instruments, are much more welcome. Uncertain situations like COVID-19, there are various factors of contributing the lack of awareness for the Muslim on having assets planning. One of them, presumption of the distribution method is sufficient. There's no clear knowledge of Islamic distribution method, and also it might come from poor financial distributions, and the mentality among society asset planning is privileged and no need to have asset planning also considered as one of the factors. And the last one is greedy behavior influence estate planning. If the people or the disease or the owner of property might have no knowledge on how to do an asset planning, they may get an aid and facility from the other parties, which the company of the management relating to the property planning, which listed like Amanah Rai Berhad, Asalihin Tasfis Berhad, Wasa Shopee Berhad, where most of them are already having kind of product for the people or the disease or the owner of property to get an applications for their assets planning. As for summary of Islamic asset planning, I already made a pyramid showing that the importance of the distributions of the property might come from understanding the Sharia principle, tools, law regulations and administration, and also using the trust company services to have a kind of other instruments other than inheritance like gift, wakaf, wills, trust, in order to get al-falah in this world and also hereafter. Conclusions, the spread of COVID-19, which affected the rest of the world, already made consequences of the community and the nations, and also unpredictable situations and circumstances like COVID-19, such as sudden death during the spread of COVID-19, require the need and plan of distributions to property during life, as I explained in this video. The objective of owner of property are able to distribute wealth to the heirs, non-heirs, close friends, adopted children, charity, and so on. And if the owner of property died without planning, the wealth will be distributed through R8, which the Faraid law already stipulated and implemented the portions of the heirs. What happened during the COVID-19 outbreak, which resulted in sudden death, might be used as a lesson for the need and preparations and planning in everyday life, especially in the context of distribution of the property. That's all for my research. I hope you all get something new from my research and my partner. And see you when I see you. Take care and have a nice day.